So Yahweh spoke in parables. So the ones who didn't get the parable, guess what they did? They went that way. You know? It says, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Right? The kingdom of heaven right there is the knowledge, man. He says, given to you to know this knowledge. That's what he's saying right there. It ain't given to everybody. You know? It says, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. He said, but to them it is not given, man. This is how you read the scriptures. Here a little, there a little, man. You know? I'm gonna show you, this is a parable. This is one of the parables he spoke right here. This is how he go like a parable, right? Now, this says this, verse 24. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seed in his field. That's a parable. Sow good seed in his field. That word field right there, the word field is the world. This is verse 38. Matthew 12 and 38. It says the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. Israelites, man. Those are the good seeds, man. But the tares are the children of the wicked. So the tares are the children of the wicked. The tares are Esau. Them the tares. The good seed are the Israelites, and the tares are the Edomites. And I'm going to go back and read that parable. Just show you how when he spoke in parables. It says, but while men slept, his enemy Esau came and sowed tares, right, among the wheat. Wheat is a good crop. Israelites represent the wheat. He said he came and sowed tares among the wheat. Meaning here in America, what did he do when he had us in slavery? Right? We had them pretty light-skinned women, or them pretty chocolate women. They had them nice bodies and shit. That damn slave master would take their ass and pop them and shit. Right? He pop them and then they get pregnant. And then they have a baby. It be the slave owner's baby. That's putting a tear among the wheat. You putting a wicked kid among us, man. It's gonna come out looking like it's gonna come out with the features of the mom, but it's gonna belong to that father, man. That's Numbers 1 and 18. We're gonna get that. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna come back to the scripture. The book of Numbers 1 and 18. And it says, and they assembled all the congregation together the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. So a pedigree is what? Your bloodline. If you ever dealt with pit bulls and Rottweilers, you ever fought dogs, with somebody, when you go to one of them dog fights, hey, you know, if you got, you want to sell your dog, they're going to be like, hey, what's his pedigree? They going to want to know his papers. They going to want to know if his father was a grand champion and his grandfather was a grand champion. They going to want to know that. You just can't walk up and sell no dog without knowing that pedigree. I want a dog from the line of the champs. I don't want no mutt. So the pit says, it says, and they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees, their bloodlines, after their families by the house of their fathers. So your bloodline goes through your father's side. It does not go through your mother's side. Because the man carries the seed. If you plant an apple tree, an apple seed right here, and then you go to China and plant another tree with the apple seed, is it going to grow up different fruit? No, it's going to grow up an apple tree. No matter where you plant that seed at, it's going to grow according to that fruit. The scripture just said the field is the world. Right? The scripture just said it. The field is the world. So no matter where you go in the world and plant, you can plant a watermelon seed. No matter where you go, Africa, America, it's going to grow to be that. It's going to grow up to be that. Right? So if a man from Judah sleeps with an Edomite, right? It's going to be an Israelite baby. You know? If an Edomite sleeps with a Judite woman, it might come out looking like a Judite, but it's going to be an Edomite baby. And if he have a boy, and that boy, if the Edomite be with a Judite woman and they have a boy, and then that boy turns around and sleeps with another Judite woman, it's going to come out with a darker complexion. But it's still going to be an Edomite baby. And if that boy goes sleep with another Judite woman, it's going to come out looking just like the dark woman that it started with. Probably going to have nappy hair and everything, but it's going to be an Edomite baby. It'll be a so-called white man. When you read in the scriptures in the 2nd chapter of Matthew, Herod, that's how Herod looked. He looked like a so-called black man, but he was really a white man. Even he had dark-skinned women. So you know his kids came out looking dark. So we have people right here today in America that's dark-skinned, nappy hair, big lips, big nose, that say they black or so-called black, so-called African-American, and they really like white men. And vice versa. You have people who you think are so-called white men walking around, they really are Israelites. I'll read that again. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the 2nd month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So, when you go back to that parable that Yahweh spoke, because they was like, why are you speaking in parables? It ain't for everybody to get. Right? It says, another parable came forth, verse 24, Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man that sowed good seed in the field. So we know the field is the world. The good seed are the children of Israel. It said, while men slept, right? They had their guards down, even while they slept, basically, while they went to sleep after working, or they just had their guards down. It says his enemy was Esau. Esau's an enemy. Came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So like I said, during the slavery, he would come, see a certain woman he liked. A lot of times they would be them light-skinned slaves. But them babies would come out looking almost like them. He come, he'll pop them, right? You look at all the movies like slave movies like 12 Years a Slave. You look at Roots, Goodbye Uncle Tom. When he after he have sex with her, he tell her go on back to work. He enjoys his little drink. He pop them, leave his seed in them. That's a tear, man. When you read that, when you see tear, that's a tear. Because when you have a wheat field, when you actually have a real wheat field, you have wheat growing up, then you have that wild grass growing up among the wheat. Right? But what you do, you don't take the wheat out. You don't take the bad grass out from around the wheat. You let it grow together. And at the time when you harvest it, when you chopping it down, then you separate the tare, the bad grass from the wheat. And you keep the good wheat and you throw the bad wheat away, right? It says, but when the blade was sprung up, it says, when the blade was sprung up, meaning growing up, right? He brought forth fruit, then appeared the tare also. So when it was growing up, right? The bad grass grew up with the good grass. So when you have Esau having babies with the Jake women, when she had that baby, it's an Edomite, right? She might live in the hood. She might live in the projects and had a baby with an Edomite. She had that Edomite baby, it's gonna come out. We know, we just use the term mix. But he gonna grow up right in the projects playing with them Judite kids. He'll grow up right there with them. He's springing up among with them, right? It says, verse 27, so the servant of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence then have it tares, right? Because he asked the man, you sowing good wheat, but then you got tares, you got all these tares in there. Where that come from? And we would look at a Judite woman like, damn, when you fuck around with Esau and shit, you know? I'm always hanging around, you know. You just snuck out and fucking went with the damn enemy, you know. It says, he said unto them, the enemy have done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay. Least while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them, right? So when you have a field of wheat, you don't take the bad grass up, you let it all grow together, right? Same way with us. The tares gonna grow up because they looking like us. You don't know, you know? If we see a pack of Edomites coming and we just be like, hey, let's go kill all of Edomites, how we know we're not killing our own people? It could be Israelites. If it's 10 Edomites, it could be 7 Israelites amongst them. So we would kill our own people. So we have to wait and let the Lord is going to do this, the separate by using the angels. And the scripture going to tell you. He says, but he said, nay, least while ye gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both them grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say, in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, right? And the reapers are the angels. Gather them together first, the tares, and bind them in bundles to fire them, right? So he's gonna say, gather them tares together. The angels spiritually know they gonna be able to look at you and tell if you an Edomite or you an Israelite, or you part of the elect or not. They gonna know, right? The scripture say the angels are one gonna bind up them tares. They gonna get them, no matter if it look dark, it could be dark as a new bowl, man. There could be an Edomite. The Lord gonna hit him, and he'll be set for the fire too. It says, but gather the wheat into my barn. When you put the wheat in the barn, you putting it away. You're making a safe haven for that wheat, right? Getting it out of the bad, inclement weather. You know? So he's gonna gather up the wheat, meaning the good seed or the good children, the elect. He's gonna put us in a safe place, man, when the angels come. Right? So we have to be careful. That's why you got to read these scriptures and discern through these scriptures what's what. So you'll know when you come up on these people how to try their spirit. And that's what you have to do. This is 1 John 4. 1 John is back by Revelation, right in front of Revelation. This is 1 John 4:1. believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High. So we have to try the spirit. How do you try the spirit? By these scriptures. You know? Because if you're not an Israelite, 10 times out of 10, you're not going to believe in the scriptures, what the scripture's saying. Our own people, they'll tell you they believe, but then they have that zeal, but they have believed in other doctrines so much that they'll argue you to death about how the Bible ain't right. But other nations just ain't gonna believe. They'll walk past it. That's why we gotta try spirits. You know? You might have a so-called Chinese man come up here and stand here and listen for 5 hours and don't say a word, just listen. Could be an Israelite. Because the heathen ain't gonna, hey, the name, the scripture tell you in Malachi, hey, the name is dreadful among the heathen. If we pushing that name out there while he's there, he won't be able to stay here. It's a spiritual thing. He won't even be able to stay here. It's like putting fire to his ass, man. He won't be able to stand among in the congregation. But if he stand here 5 hours and listen, and you putting a name out there and he just listening, he could be an Israelite. You know? It says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. Many false prophets have gone out into the world, man. And we have it, man. We even have it amongst our people. You know? Bubble Eyes, IUIC, IUSPK. Man, them dudes are false prophets, man. You know? They'll see an Edomite and just say, hey, you ain't part of this. Or just see a man who look dark skinned and say, yeah, you a Judite. They won't try the spirit. You know? We're going to try the spirit. Oh, good. So, I see, brother, you came out here and everything. Got any questions? Yeah. You understand, like, I'm gonna ask you a question. You understand right there in Genesis, the first chapter? You understand that first verse? Okay.
You probably know way more about it than me.
Since you just coming out here the first time and you knew, hey, what we doing, like, this is the nation of Israel, right? 12 tribes of Israel. These are the people who the Lord, who this Bible is for, right? It's for these people and these people only. Not these are the elect, right? So what we doing, we come out here, we fellowship together through these scriptures, right? We prophesy. This is like a baptism, right? And if you went to a church, if you went in there, they saw you every Sunday for about 3 weeks. About that third week they see you, they're going to start talking to you. The next thing they're going to tell you, you need to come get baptized. That's what they're going to tell you. You ever been baptized before? No. They going to want to what? What they going to want to do? Dump you under the water, right? But this, the baptism that we're doing, right? You're here to be baptized. This brother is here to be baptized. Brother here is here to be baptized. Brother here, that's what we all here. Me as well, right? And I'm gonna show you what baptism is, right? I'm gonna go over that right quick. This is Acts. Go to Acts. 11 and 16. Let me know when you get there.